Everybody, welcome to another episode of Creative Cast. And today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Nidhi Khanna, and she's one of our OG designers. We have had her at Saday since like day one. She's been one of our biggest support system and someone I definitely recommend to look up to if you're looking into building a global design career, and especially if you're starting out from India and how it's done, because it's not a very perceived career here. And for almost a year, Nidhi has been very busy. She has been working at Publicist as an art director. Then she started her internship at Wunderman Thompson right now. And she's been working with as a freelancer for ages, I guess. It's been 3 years, I'm predicting. Yeah. For 3 years, Nidhi has been working as a freelancer as well. And she was able to make her dream come true of being a designer. And today we are going to hear that story, and we're going to hear how we make that happen. And let's hear it from Nidhi first. Hi, Nidhi.
Hi, Nanika. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So tell me about the story. Tell me your story. Let's start with that. Tell me about yourself so that the audience can know you a little bit more, and then we can get on to a few questions.
Um, so a little history about me. I come from a family that's very mom is from science, dad is from commerce, so people expect you to follow the same path.
Yeah.
But I believe I was in my 10th when I thought maybe let's just stick to something different. Let's go into arts. So perhaps I began with history as something because I loved history. I was a geek back then. But then slowly and steadily, I came to know about how media is a huge thing right now, especially in a country like India where the population demands for more. They need to know what's happening in the country, whether it's creatively, whether it's through advertising, whether it's film, or whether it's just news in general. So then I stepped into mass media, learned about advertising and journalism, thought that maybe advertising is a better path. Did my first year in advertising. The lockdown came up, and I was like, okay, let's see what we can do right now. I stumbled upon digital design, and that's where it began. Because as a kid, I used to draw, I used to paint, get into multimedia and stuff like that. But then lockdown forced me, or rather, ignited a spark in me that asked, or rather, craved for designing. All that depression, all that sitting at home, the angst and the frustration got out into my art, um, exploring different mediums online, different platforms and stuff. What began as a hobby later turned into a passion and a job right now. So I think I went into a big umbrella of art direction where graphic designing is a huge part of it, where the basics of how to make a thing good, aesthetic, good looking is where it came up. And that's where I'm pursuing right now. So that's me.
Wow. And I think at that time was also a time when you like discovered about Saday, when you were going through that angst. And honestly, we have all been there. And even I was going through angst at that time to creatively express myself. And both my parents were designers, so that's where the Saday thing came out, right? And I'm glad that you found us at that time, and today it brought you to here. And it's been 3 years. It sounds crazy that we have
Yeah.
had in the community that long, like since day one, when there were 100 people, to now when there are like more than 3,500 people. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that. First of all, I would like to mention that. And that's a great journey. And I'm really proud of the fact that you were able to just pursue what you actually wanted. Because a lot of people want to do a lot of things, but they don't actually get to do that. Maybe society, parents, whatever might be the reason, but you still did it. So that's something that's obviously very phenomenal. Now, getting to that, I want to ask the first question. So, as a kid, also, I wanted to pursue design. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people might. And both my parents were designers, but still, somehow or the other, I ended up taking management. And it's just something that happens to kids here in India, no matter what. They do not go towards design, even if they want to really bad. And apart from that, starting a design career is also difficult. Like it takes experience. Like you go somewhere, you'll be like, hey, I need to start, I need this job. They're like, oh,
Mhm.
what's your experience? I'm like, how can I have experience if I don't have the job? So it takes a lot of portfolio building. Takes a lot of time, so on and so forth. So my question would be, how have you prevented all those steps that it takes to be there, from holding you back? Because I think that's something a lot of people would want to know. And how have you made sure that you reach your goal in spite of whatever you get to hear? Like you just shut yourself down to the world and just do what you have to do, right? So what was your approach like?
I think the number one approach would be stop saying no to yourself. So what people do is, whether they are studying or whether they're working, and they see that perhaps design is somewhere that they are more inclined to, they'll be like, this is more of a passion project. I'll maybe get down to it when I'm in a summer break, or when I'm free, or when I don't have my year end going on. But I think saying no should be the first thing that you should stop doing. The number second would be finding a good medium. Luckily for me, I had Saday. But at the same time, you need someone to push you to get you to a creative level, because at times you start self-doubting yourself, and that creates a lot of hustle, a lot of what do you call, a negative impact on your design, on your passion, and on your career impact, and it starts getting into different things. But finding a good platform is very essential. As you mentioned, portfolio building is very important. Nobody understands how important portfolio is right now in the market. People are slowly getting into, but again, the thing is, I'll only build a portfolio when I have real clients or real work in my portfolio. But no
Right.
one talks about how there are so many awards right now for students, for young creatives,
Yep.
that allow you to get a good brief, work
Mhm.
on it, and have it, or I mean, you can win it. But that if you don't win, at the same time, you can still upload it on your portfolio and get the good
True.
work in
True.
it.
True.
And apart from that, you have so many platforms that offer you briefs and stuff right now. You have
Mm.
AI that's helping out with just type into chat gpt, give me a brief for so and so design, and build a good portfolio.
Yeah.
And at the same time, portfolio is so important, because if you're not standing in the movement, if you don't know where the person is, or where you are right now, but the let's say an XYZ company or XYZ person can still look at your portfolio and be like, I like this person's work, whether you are good at talking or not. But
Mm.
they'll be pursued by just looking at your work, and they'll know that, yeah, perhaps this is someone that I like to get inclined to. But if you could just reframe your question again, because I think I just got lost in the this thing.
No, I think you're pretty much heading towards right direction, because most people do not stop themselves because they do not have the content, right? Like we are hosting these challenges constantly so that people
Mhm.
can have and build a portfolio. And there are many designers who have built a portfolio through Saday challenges. Recently, we collaborated with Lottie Files to do a
Mhm.
motion design challenge, and if somebody created a design for that, they didn't win. Nonetheless, it's a collaboration with Lotifaz that would get you a lot of credibility. And the biggest thing is that we would also be open to get such collaborations, because at the end of the day, it helps build portfolio, like you said. And then there is the chat GPT thing, like you can give random briefs. So we are actually planning on, maybe giving these briefs to some of our designers who want to build portfolio. We'd be like, hey, we have GPT-4. If you have access issues, not a problem. We can give you some briefs. You can work on it and build your portfolio.
Mhm.
So those things basically get a client to vibe with you, because at the end of the day, the client doesn't need to know that you have worked with somebody and you got here, there, and all that stuff. They want to see the kind of work you do, and especially in design, this is not like 100% marketing. Especially in design, if a client vibes with you, then it
Mhm.
works most of the time. So it's about creating that vibe. So pretty much I would say heading towards the right direction. I just wanted to ask, what was it that prevented you from not giving in to the society of what people were saying, that this is not possible, that is not possible, and just do it nonetheless? What was that thing for you? That's basically what the question was.
Mm, I think it was about not following what my parents did, because I wouldn't say it's a negative thing, but somewhere in my mind, I was forced to explore more things because I've seen people pursue the same things again and again. You look up to people in your society and you see the failures. I wouldn't say failures, but it is the failures that they go through, the struggle that they go through, and you know that perhaps if this is what's going to happen with me, I might take up a new work life or a new path in life that is going to help me. So it was the people around me. I saw them struggle. I saw them do the 9 to 5 jobs where just cribbing over numbers and stuff. And I knew that I'm not a person for numbers. So that was the first thing that just, like just moved me away from the regular path. But what prevented me at the same time was I'm a person who does not like follow. I mean, I hate following trends and stuff like that. And if all of them are going for science, I knew that I need to stay out of this thing. I need to pop out in the society. I need that something that's gotta help me satisfy my dreams, and help me sleep at night. And I think that's the most crucial thing, that the dreams of becoming someone who's very happy, who's having a very balanced life, whether it's family wise, whether it's work wise. And I think that's one of the reasons why I chose design, why I moved towards design rather than going towards the what everyone craves for, like engineering, architecture, and so on. So
Right. And also, the first point of a true designer, you do not like following trends. So,
Mhm.
so that's where it comes from. Like, I think in everything in life, right? So yeah, if you really want to do something, I really believe that freak trends, you don't need that. And now beyond that, the next question that I had for you was that how do you like think people have a like, how do you have a global perspective to serve like a more international audience? Because what happens is that sometimes people, and this is not just for India, this is for any part of the world, if somebody is
Mhm.
trying to provide a service overseas, they come across this cultural shock where they are like confused that because they have a different working environment, they have a different working structure, they have a different company culture, so on and so forth. So how do you make sure that a designer maintains versatility and
Mhm.
also does not face that cultural shock, or even if it faces it, knows how to deal with it and
Mhm.
cater to a bigger global client? Because at the end of the day, in your area or in your country, I mean, India has a lot of population, but still, for other people, in your area, in your country, there's only a limit till where you can expand, right? And global clients give you a more more holistic approach of working with almost everybody else, and also improve your versatility, right? So how do
Mhm.
you gain that perspective where you are being able to work with global clients and work perfectly without facing any cultural shock or dealing with it properly and building a successful global design career or freelance career?
The number one thing, very crucial, is research. No
Mm-hmm.
matter which country or which client you're going to pick up, it's important that even if you're just pitching to someone, it's very important that you research about the culture that's there. And with social media and with the internet that's available on our fingertips right now, it's very easy to understand how a certain country works, whether it's understanding the food culture, if you're getting into restaurant designs, if it's about understanding how what they crave through social media, what kind of designs they are craving, or rather what kind of clothes they are asking for. Um, Research is very important, like a thorough research from A to Z, from knowing your client to knowing your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the culture is very crucial. So, number one thing when it comes to culture shock is give yourself time to get used to it. So it is going to happen. It happened with me when I went to Italy. My first thing was, what is this happening? I have never seen a country like this, that where this is the culture that's going on. But it took me a good 5 to 10 days to settle down. But then it starts opening your minds to more ideas, to more creations, and how can you cater and offer more to a person that's coming to you and asking you for one single thing? It could be just like, give us a menu design, but how can you just take it further creatively, much more uh, sync with what the culture of that particular country is? Um, but apart from that, I think cultural shock, I think, is pretty good for one person because
Mm-hmm.
it helps you grow a lot. So I have seen people, I've had friends in life who are so shocked by, or rather so astounded by one particular thing that they'll cry and they'll go back home, or they'll
Yeah.
go and find someone who's similar or like way close to home. Like, but I think it's about standing up to the entire thing and opening your horizons and understanding it. But as to how you would, you know, enhance yourself when it comes to it is, again, research is very crucial. But I think due to the global networking happening right now, I think networking is very important. So if you have
Mhm.
the proper networking and everything, like the connections and everything in place, so the cultural shock lessens a little because you're communicating over different factors and stuff.
Right.
But yeah,
So basically, you're saying that we should perceive the cultural shock as something positive rather
positive.
than negative, and just be stubborn about it that I have to do this. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you make it. Because once you're stubborn about something, you do anything to get it done. No matter how much research it takes, how many sleepless nights it takes, you're gonna get it done. So take it more like a challenge and with a
Mm-hmm.
positive attitude that, oh, this can be a good thing rather than a bad thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that does, and about the community thing, you're saying very right. So even I was doing a management internship in Italy, like a similar one for 3 months. And honestly, what helped me was my connections that I was able to build with my coworkers. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that actually saved me from cultural shock. Some of them were actually even going through it as well, but it did save me. And I was like, bro, I have to do this. It's an
Mm-hmm.
experience. And I went there for experience. I'm like, it's an experience. You have to enjoy it. Cannot say no to it, right? There's no other
That's
way to
true.
grow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a great answer, Nidhi. So thank you so much for that. Now, as you know, like earning as a creative in India is pretty much hard. Like freelancers find it hard to get paid. Same with creative agencies in India, the basic ones. And you have been working with like the best creative agencies in the world. Okay. So what do you think goes on in the inside or goes on within that company beyond reputation that actually helps them get these lines of clients, and they charge a bomb, but still there are like people in the waiting list all the time. They have to expand to, cater to them, so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So what is this thing that they do different that causes a higher quality? Maybe something in project management, something in, the creative directors are great. What is that thing that causes them to go beyond and provide that service that people not only are willing to pay over a premium for, but
Mm-hmm.
also fight over it? So that's basically the question. What do you think that makes it worth their while of going through all this trouble?
Um, I'll tell you the answer is just one thing. It's about
Mm,
becoming um the master of everything in life. So it's about being a multifaceted person, and
mm,
it's about being able to do not just design, but knowing how the copy works as well. Not
mm,
just not just working with one medium, but knowing how other mediums work as well. Because when a client comes to you, they aren't going to sit and run to three different people,
mm,
one for design, one for marketing, one for copy, because they want what they want, but they'll come to one particular agency or one particular company because they know they'll get all their answers here. They know that if they want, let's say, when it comes to advertising, if they want a TVC, this company can give them a TVC. If they want a proper ad film for social media, they'll get something out of here. If they want something that's award worthy, they'll get it here. If they want a print ad, they'll get it here. If they want a CGI thing, they'll get it here. So it's about being it's about having so many talents, or at least knowing about these talents, that you know that if a person is coming to you, you have the answers to all of their problems. You have the solutions to all of the creative problems that they're coming up with. And it in the end, it's like, you're not just the jack of all trades and master of none, you're jack of all trades and masters of all at the end, at least some. So
mm,
that's what's important. But what I've also seen is that with being um, at a position or just knowing so many things in life, it gives you a tag in the company that this person knows everything or this person is a knowledgeable person. So you know when there's a problem running, the other team members will run towards you. So it helps you get that promotion. It helps you get that position in life. That's very important. So
Nice. There's credibility. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So it's very important to, how people usually say in life is just learn one thing and excel in it. But right now, the society is such that you need to learn different things, no matter what your age is, what your, people come up with, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I can't do this thing, this doesn't belong to me. You need to know about
Yeah.
that stuff because
So,
that's what society is asking for. So it's
definitely.
about expanding your knowledge, expanding your talents. So you have to be the masters of everything right now. That's one of the answers.
Actually, honestly speaking, I totally agree with you because I was only into marketing, and that was the only thing I was doing: management, project management, and marketing. And then I was like, oh, I'm a founder now. I have to do sales. And I dreaded doing sales. And honestly, it was sort of in my mind that, I am not like most. If you go to a sales what do you call it? If you even see that movie, Wolf of the Wall Street, or if you go to any sales place, you see it's all guys, and then there are two girls. Okay, it's much like entrepreneurship, and I was like, maybe I cannot do it, but I did entrepreneurship as well, which is a similar sort of scenario. I was like, you know what? Let's nail put the nail on the hammer. Like let's nail the hammer or whatever that thing is. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Let's just, yeah, hammer to the nail. Let's just put the hammer to the nail
Right.
and let's do it. And I started it. Initially, the first few cold calls were shit. I was like, okay, I'm not good at cold calling. What else do I do? Let's try to attract leads. And then I attracted leads and I started with my first few calls. I binged on Future's videos to learn everything
Mhm.
about sales. And if somebody is like starting out as a freelance designer or freelancing, Future is the guy to learn sales from.
Mhm.
So I think you have been also watching Future videos. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I binged on it and I took this entire template that he provided and I just went on it. And that's it. I've closed the first three clients and it was a grand experience. And the conversion was about 30% close to at that time. And it was good. I mean, it's really great. And I then believe that, okay, now I can do sales. And
Mhm.
now I tell people, oh yeah, I do sales. So it's
Mhm.
just about being like that I have to do this. I don't have an option, right? And
Yeah.
that's something that you also had. And I remember that when I was small, my mom used to just tell me that, Nanika, you do a lot of things. You're trying to learn playing guitar, you're trying to learn drawing, you're trying to learn computer programs and stuff like that. You're just doing too much. This will not lead you
Mhm.
anywhere because jack of all trades, master of none. Mom, I would rather be master of all, if that's something.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's the thing. You cannot be perfect on everything, but if you know everything, it
Mhm.
helps. Perfect, maybe you will get over time, right? But just knowing everything is the biggest thing. So even if you're a jack of all trades, it's better than being master of one in today's world. And I
Definitely.
totally agree with that. And like great story. But one more question that I have is that how do you think these companies have been able to build that credibility over time? Like, what, according to you, is that one thing? Because you said when you go here, it's versatility is one of the things. Like, when you go
Mhm.
here, everything. But beyond that as well, delivering quality is also important. So, is there anything special these companies do on the internal that helps them deliver maybe high quality and stuff like that? Like, they hired you and you're a great talent.
Mhm.
So, what exactly goes on that part of stuff?
I believe it's looking for unique talents and unique things because in today's world, if you lay out a brief, almost 30 different agencies or companies will come up with similar ideas.
Mhm.
So at the very end, when it comes to internal developments and stuff, they look for people that come up with unique ideas, unique solutions, and that's what the client wants in the end. They don't want something that's been done 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They want something, even the problem is very unique, very common, but they want the answer that's so unique, so tailored to a particular company, so a particular client. So these agencies, when it comes to the talks internally, when it comes to hiring people and stuff like that, they
Mhm.
actually look for talents that are very um, out there, and very rare people have it. So, like a few months ago, AI, not many people were into AI. So they were looking into people who knew AI, who knew CGI and stuff like that.
Got you.
But yeah, but right now, again, they hunt for people, they hunt for solutions that are making you stand out in the society, making you get those awards like Cannes, they get you awards like DNAD, One Show, and others that are just so uh, creatively out there, but at the same time, they're creatively solving a problem. So they don't just put out something that's just for entertainment right now. They want something that uh, is solving a purpose, at the same time is creative, but at the same time is satisfying the client to what they deserve. So
Mm, got you.
uniqueness is what they ask for.
And AI is something people are looking for everywhere right now. So if anybody can get hands on how to use AI properly and make themselves efficient, they should go ahead with it, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I ask people, I mean, it's a constant debate in my industry that AI is going to take away your job.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere that AI is going to take away a job, but it's going to take over the small jobs, like removing a person out of a photo, or changing the background, removing a background, doing something else. But it's not going to take away your major roles, because it doesn't have intuition, it doesn't have feelings.
Yes.
So you're still there. You're there to control the AI, the machine, and it's just going to be a machine that's working what you feed into it. So that's the thing.
By the way, did you hear the new Christmas holiday hypothesis for ChatGPT?
No, what is that?
Okay, so the hypothesis is this, that in December, GPT is giving shorter replies and is being lazy and stuff like that because it believes that it's the holiday season, and it was basically trained on all the past human data that's been out there for like years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And the human data is such that it shows that in December, people work less, they're lazy because it's a holiday season, and they are giving shorter replies, being casual at work, so on and so forth. And that basic data is what GPT was trained on. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's doing the same, assuming that it's December. And it's a hypothesis. I've not tested it myself. I got to know about it yesterday. But all the AI experts claim that
Mm-hmm.
it's true. Like they claim that is actually happening. And they said there's a quick solution to it. Whatever you type, just say that, hey, just so you know, it's May, like May 2023 or something.
Oh.
Give it like a different date and be like,
Mm-hmm.
and then the hypothesis, will go away and it'll write properly. So a lot of AI experts are saying that it's happening, but it's only because it's trained on that past data. AI, even if AGI comes, I do not know at what level the intuition will be at. And even if there is intuition at the end of the day, in human, like currently what's the organization scenario, there
Mm-hmm.
are tons of people who are doing the work, and people who are like checking it, approving it, so on and so forth, right? So people who are doing the work right now, they might have to develop the intuition where they can not only just do work but also check it and make it correct, because
Mm-hmm.
maybe in the future AI would be doing all the work and we would just be sitting here and approving things. But that doesn't mean like completely the credibility will go or people will not get work, because that time you'll be able to produce more. Maybe say Publicist is working for 1,000 clients in one particular city right now, they be able to do 10,000 at that
Mm-hmm.
same manpower. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's gonna be. So right now, everybody needs to develop to that. Like whenever a new tech comes, people have to grow to be a part of
Mm-hmm.
that tech. So right now, I believe that everybody needs to grow to be a part of that tech, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that even in the future, they can secure their jobs. And I think that's the only part. It's not like it's not taking anybody's job. It's just new tech. You have to adopt to it. And
Mhm.
I see that you have done that. And what would you think about that?
It's essential because as we have seen over history that to evolve, you need to adapt to the new things. To learn, you need to learn the new things, and you cannot be scared of something that just because it's going to take over your job, or as people say, it's going to take over your job. But what's crucial at that same moment is not to fear something just because it's coming up in the market. So
Yes.
I think fear is something that's going to stop you from learning that thing, from getting used to the thing. And I believe that I personally was very scared of AI at the first moment. I remember I used to sit at the agency and I used to turn my laptop and be like type my prompts into chat GPT or ask Midjourney to help me out with a certain design or something. And that used to be like I don't know, I used to be like scared to show that I'm sitting amongst thousands of creatives and I'm using AI just for this, just to help me out for just meager
Right.
things. But
Uh,
right now, I think it took me 6 months to get used to the entire concept of how I can use artificial intelligence for my growth and for my safety and my personal development. And I can openly use AI right in the middle and show you that, look, dude, this is the answer that you're giving me. This is the brief you're giving me. Let's change it up and make it more different, or what way we can adapt it to the better society. So
right.
I think it's crucial to use AI for the right reasons.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's about, do not fear anything that's coming up in your life right now, whether it's AI, CGI, AGI, anything in life. You need to get used to it. That's crucial.
That's very true, and I think that's a great perspective to have. And I think that's something that would take more people into relevancy even after AGI, because we would still be needed for the intuition power that we would still possess. And
Mhm.
also, I know whoever is gonna make AGI is gonna make sure it's, or I hope they do, is gonna make sure that it's regulated properly for the safety of
Mhm.
humans. Now, the next question that I have for you is design, as you know, is tends to be a more closed industry, like
Mhm.
pretty close. And it's kind of true, but I feel that if you're pushy enough, there is a way to make it there. And if you're able to penetrate that industry and have an actual, global career and push through, and now you're there, suppose you're there, what do you say to people on how to handle that? Like, what's your take on this? Like, how can people handle that pressure that comes in a design career? Because eventually, once you grow, even if you're a freelancer, you'll have more clients than you can manage. Sometimes some issues here and there might just drastically affect your reputation, because design is a closed industry and that does happen to a lot of people. And then their entire career is just not there anymore. So how do we be in that spot where we are being able to manage at whatever limits we are scaling? Obviously, AI is one of the things that can help. But what do you think? What sort of mindset do you think it takes to actually be successful, maintain it, and do well in a creative career?
Um, I think the number one thing is cater to things that you know that you're the best at. Don't just go and take up briefs that just sound cool, but in the end, you need to put out work that is justified uh, and is letting you sleep at night. Because if you put out work that's not 100% out there, you're just doing just because you need money or just because the client gave to you. Uh, it won't make it. It won't make it because you won't be happy if it's in your portfolio. You won't be happy to, if you see the work out there, you might be saying, oh, that's my work, but would you be smiling and pointing at that and saying that that's my work? I made it. It's just so beautiful and stuff like that. Uh, so that's one of the thing. Uh, the quality you put out is very important when you do these stuff. So even if you need to ask for help to your fellow teammates, to your fellow artists and stuff like that, it's okay to ask for help because at times I've seen with myself as well that I think we hesitate to ask for help just because we think that this client came to me. What if so and so person might steal them, or I don't want to share them, the client with someone else. But it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to just bow down at once when you know that there's so much work on your head, and just be like, "Hi, are you free? Can you just help me out with this one particular project? We'll split whatever the amount is between us and stuff like that." That's a secondary thing. But putting out what came to you and just giving it the 100% is very crucial. So one thing is that, but at the same time, I think it's okay to say no to some things. Um, when people come to you asking for so many things, it's okay to say no, that I can't do this right now. Perhaps sometime in the future I'll help you out. So that's the three things. But I think as you grow, one understands how crucial time management is. And when you're standing at a global level where there's so many time zones, so many deadlines running according to these time zones and stuff like that, you need to learn how to adapt to these time zones, because it's just, it still scratches my skull when I need to wake up at 5 a.m. to work according to the US time zone. I need to attend at so and so time to work according to Japan time zone. And it irritates the heck out of anyone. But what's important is that having patience and the adaptability to work according to these different time zones and stuff like that. And yeah, I believe it's about giving your 100% to things. You might crib, you might cry, you might get sick and anything, but no matter whoever comes to you with their work, they're coming to you because they can trust you, because they know that you have the capability to put out such good work. And it's about giving what they come from. And when we come from India, we are always said that it's always said that whatever comes to you, accept it and look at it as a positive thing, because we somehow link everything to God or a higher power. That's a karmic circle. So it's gonna come back to you at a positive way. So it's about giving your 100% at the end of the day.
Wow, I love that. And also the thing is that when you told about asking for help, there is, and I said we're not mentioning AI, but still I would have to, like, if you have created a design, you can put it on GPT right now and they will give you good suggestions, like have helped us improve a lot of things in the past. So just saying they'd give you good suggestions and that would almost make you cry. I
Mhm.
like that. Just give it the thing, be like, hey, I made this design, this is what the client brief was, so on and so forth. What do you think is wrong? And that's there. And obviously following the brief that you actually want to do, that actually you feel like you can do great at, and doing that in the beginning, and then obviously learning and expanding in the future. So that's something that's very important. And with that, we come to the last question, and this is almost the last question always. What is your message to another 18-year-old or a 20-year-old who right now is maybe graduating for college, and let's give two scenarios. One answer would be for somebody who has a lot of resources and has gone to a good college, has gone to a design college, and now they're planning on pursuing a design career. And the other scenario is somebody who does not have a lot of resources, maybe was not able to afford a great college, and and still is planning on pursuing a design career. So what would be your advice to both these folks?
All right, so let's get on to the first person, our first persona, the person who has all these resources and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I think my first answer to you would be it's okay, because not what happens in the end when you get out of your design college and everything, you stand blank after graduation as to where do I go now? Do
Yeah.
I immediately start pursuing a career in design? Do I take a break, see what my forte is, and get onto a particular design career path? So it's okay to take your time. It's okay to think. It's perfectly all right to sit back and look at whatever you learned and see that perhaps I need to learn more and go forward and learn. Because at time when it comes to design, it's not a conventional career. People are going to be like, "Oh, are you not going to pursue a master's in it? Are you not going to pursue something else in it?" So it's perfectly fine to take a break, look at things, how well it worked out for you, look at what is your strength, then perhaps continue it. And be grateful for whatever resources you had, because that's one thing we take very granted when we are like learning, is not being grateful for whatever our parents were able to provide us, what we were able to provide for us, what our schools and colleges were able to provide for us. So be grateful for whatever you had, and never stop learning. That's one of my key motives to whoever I meet, is that what people think is, once you're out of college, once you're out of your school days and college days, your studying days, you should not stop learning. Just open your YouTube or any article, blog, whatever your source of education or content is. Just look at the stuff that's there and learn more things. Because if you don't expand your horizon, you're not going to excel in life, to be very honest. And keep building yourself even once you're out of college. And I've seen that when people come out of very prestigious colleges, they have this thing in mind, or this attitude or something that they carry with us, that we are better than everyone else. But when you enter the industry, you get humbled so much when your boss is screaming at your head like, "This is not the design that we want. This is the deadline that we're running up to." So whenever you enter any industry, once you're done with your once you're done with your education, just enter with a blank slate, with a humble mind, and be like, I'm here to learn more, and I'm able to adapt to whatever the company is throwing at me. So that's very crucial. And not to just step in and be like, oh, I know everything. You can't stop me from doing my thing now.
Yeah.
But that's it. So that's for the person, like the first persona. But number two, I believe it's the time. I think we are the luckiest generation right now, because we have lots of resources at our tip. We might not know about it, but we have it. If you just have a phone that has internet in it, you are the luckiest person on the earth. Just Google up things, just research about things that uh, helps you become a better designer, a better artist in the end. And at the same time, it's all right if you don't have the professional softwares and stuff. You can always, as we mentioned earlier, ask for help, ask from your friends. There's so many people out there, and there's so many new softwares that run for free. If you don't want to work on Photoshop, you have something that's very similar that's available online for free. Or better yet, just borrow something from your friends just for a day, or just keep pushing yourself just because you don't have any resources and stuff like that. And if you come from a background that's stopping you, it's all right to cut some connections from people that are like, stopping you from exploring who you are, exploring the designer you can be. And again, learning is very important, no matter who you are, from which background you are. And even if you are completely changing your fields from, let's say, sales to designing, it's all right. No one's going to stop you in it. And I believe at the end, to both of these people, my main answer is going to be, don't just become a corporate slave. Don't just become a person who's just feeding or creating whatever the client is asking, whatever the brief is asking you. Become a storyteller, become a person with emotions, and be happy with whatever work you're putting on. Even if you look back after years and you're like, oh, that work wasn't good enough, I shouldn't put it in my portfolio. But what you don't understand is, when you start building on work, it's very crucial to understanding the human emotions. um, because design is not just about colors, about this theory, that theory, how this thing looks, how pleasing it is to the eye, but it's more about what goes on in your mind, what goes on in your emotions, and and your client's emotions, and your audience's emotions. So it's, I mean, you should just look at the bigger picture at the end, and not just be like, I'm here in this particular role for, let's say, for the next 5 years, then I'll switch my role and that's going to be there. No, your work stands justified for your entire life here. So, yeah, become a better storyteller, I would say.
Well, Nidhi, that was something I 100% agreed to, was super inspiring as well. So anybody who is watching, if you want to pursue a design career, you have resources, no matter you do not have resources, just give it a shot, because you will never know till you give it a shot and try it out. Just give it a couple of months, give it 6, 7, 8 months, see what's working out, what's not working out. Trust me, there's this quote that I really follow, is that it's hard to start, right? If you really want to do something and it's super difficult, it's hard to start. But once you start, it's hard to stop. And it is going to become hard to stop eventually. Like, I was scared of starting a company. I was scared of being an entrepreneur. I still started it. Like, no, I just was like, freak it. I have to do it. I'm going to start it. Now, I do face difficult situations. I do have days where I do not want to even what do you call it, even get up off the bed, because I'm just in so much worry, overworked, so on and so forth. But even on those days, I would not do anything else. Like, even on my worst days, if you ask me that if your startup dies right now, what you do, like, I'll find another one. I keep doing this, because this is just what I like doing, and it's hard to stop now. Like, once you start, it's hard to stop. So keep going at it, and be persistent, and eventually you'll see things will work out. That's what happens with most people, right? So just go at it. So thank you so much, Nidhi, for all that great advice and for all the great wisdom. It was great having you. And honestly speaking, I guarantee, I do not hope, I guarantee a lot of people might be learning a lot of things from this video, including the Saday community itself. And thank you so much for being a huge support at Saday, and for always following that designer spirit of yours, and just keep going at following your dreams no matter what, and making it happen. That is what we want to represent at Saday, and that's how we want to represent everybody at Saday. And we are honored to have you be a part of Saday. And thank you so much for being here, for giving your time. And any last words before we sign off?
Before I thank you off, I just have, as you mentioned, a beautiful quote. I read this on Instagram. It was an Italian thing, but I'm just going to translate it for you, which is absolutely really beautiful. Is that in Italian or in Italy, they don't say better days will come. They say that slowly as time passes, the clouds will part, the smoke will part, and the stars will shine.
True.
So it is going to be your day someday. Just give it time. As you mentioned, it's give it time, give it a push, give it, if you want to learn how to drive, you need to start the car. If you don't know how to start the car isn't going to take you to your XYZ location. So
Nice.
it's very important to push yourself, get out of your boundaries, and just explore, because no one's gonna charge you anything for exploring. No one's gonna bite you in your back or come back at you with a income tax return and be like, oh, you explored so much, this is what you need to pay us right now. But be free, be as curious as a baby, go around. You'll fall, you'll scratch your knee, you'll burst your head and stuff like that. But stand up once again and just push yourself. So that's that. But apart from that, thank you so much for having me over here. I was truly very happy to have this platform to speak out my mind. Even if it helps maybe one or two people out, it's more than enough for me, because what is life if I can share what I've learned through my 22 years of existence till now. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, for being here. And I hope this taught everybody a lot. And with that, we'll see you at the next episode.